The 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. While you were sleeping comfortably in your bed, 230,000 people were taking their very last breath. You think your life is predictable? You think tomorrow is a guarantee? They did too. One minute they were watching their children build sandcastles. The next, everything they ever loved was erased from the face of the earth. This isn't just a disaster story. This is the story of the most catastrophic single moment in modern human history. And the most terrifying part, it began in complete silence. But before we get to the beach, you need to understand what happened beneath the ocean. At 7:58 in the morning on December 26, 2004, 160 kilometers off the coast of Sumatra, Indonesia, the earth broke. Not cracked, broke. A 9.1 magnitude megathrust earthquake, one of the most powerful ever recorded in human history, ruptured along a fault line stretching over 1,200 kilometers. The Richter scale is logarithmic. A 9.1 isn't slightly bigger than a 7.1. It is nearly 1,000 times more powerful. The energy released in those minutes was equivalent to 23,000 atomic bombs, detonating simultaneously beneath the ocean floor. The seabed physically rose 10 meters. Trillions of tons of seawater displaced instantly, with nowhere to go but outward in every direction at 800 kilometers per hour, the speed of a jet airliner. And on the surface, nothing. Calm water, a gentle ripple. No one felt anything. The tsunami was invisible. It crossed the entire Indian Ocean as a wave only half a meter tall. Ships passed over it without noticing. It had no color, no sound, no warning, just speed and mass and unstoppable kinetic energy racing toward 11 million people on 14 coastlines who had no idea it was coming. Close your eyes for a second and imagine this. You wake up on a Sunday morning. The sun is rising over the Indian Ocean. The water is crystal blue, perfectly calm, almost like glass. Your family is laughing. Children are running on the sand. The air smells of salt and coconut. Everything is beautiful. Everything is peaceful. Suddenly, the ocean disappears. It starts slowly. The waves stop breaking. The water just pulls back like someone is draining a massive bathtub. Within seconds, things appear that no living human has ever seen. Colorful coral reefs suddenly exposed to air. Ancient sea creatures flopping on wet sand. The ocean floor, normally hidden under meters of water, is suddenly naked and visible. The air goes completely still. The birds stop singing. Even the wind stops. It becomes the quietest moment you have ever experienced. And in that impossible silence, most people smile. They point. They laugh. They take off their shoes and walk onto the exposed sand to get closer to the miracle. It is the most beautiful, most terrifying, most deadly silence in human history. It lasts exactly 3 minutes, then the horizon disappears. But one person knew. A 10-year-old British girl named Tilly Smith was on the beach in Phuket, Thailand, with her parents. 2 weeks before the trip, her geography teacher had shown her a video about tsunamis. He told her one thing she would never forget. When the sea retreats, run. Don't watch. Don't think. Run. Tilly saw the ocean pull back and started screaming. Her parents thought she was overreacting. She grabbed her mother's arm and pulled. She screamed at strangers on the beach. She pointed at the horizon and kept screaming. Her father believed her. He started telling everyone around them to run to the hotel, to get to higher ground. Now, immediately, over 100 people ran because of a 10-year-old girl who had paid attention in class. On the next beach, people stood watching the miracle until there was nothing left to do but die. One class, one teacher, one child who listened, 100 lives saved. That is the difference knowledge makes. Every survivor who lived to tell this story describes the same thing first. Not what they saw, what they heard. A sound that started as a low hum, like a distant train, then louder, like thunder that never stopped, then a roar so deep and so massive it didn't feel like sound anymore. It felt like the air itself was vibrating, like the world was ending. One survivor said it sounded like God clearing his throat, and then the wall of water appeared on the horizon. In Banda Aceh, it wasn't blue or clear. It was black, a wall of black water, 30 meters tall, moving at the speed of a highway car. It had already swallowed everything in its path. Trees, cars, buildings, bodies, all of it churning in a liquid graveyard. Survivors described a sound they had never heard before. Not a crash, not a roar, a deep, low, mechanical grinding, like the earth itself was being torn apart. Then the smell hit them. Not the ocean, something darker, like mud and metal and death mixed together. You had a proxy.